early April, I'm going back into New York City, and guess where I am? Ramsey Route 17 station. This is the same exact station that I took the last time that I went into New York. And it's kind of become my favorite station, in all honesty. So, yeah. Alright, I made it into New York. It's a little chilly and rainy, but you know, that's not going to stop me. Alright, so I didn't have any morning coffee, so I just took a quick trip to Starbucks just to get that over with. So now I'm going to just do random things until tonight's concert at Brooklyn Steel. So today is Sunday, September 25th, and I'm going back into New York City, and I'm gonna go see Sigrid in concert once again. But it's just funny, I'm seeing her twice in 1 year. Also, morning coffee. I just made it. We've made it to Hoboken Terminal. So the last time I was here, the PATH trains to go into New York City were over in this area. Well, while they're still running on this side, I just noticed that there's this area that's now open to the PATH trains that I honestly have not noticed before. I'm gonna take this path now. This looks nice. So the PATH train is going all the way up to 33rd Street, but I decided to get off at 9th because why not? I like exploring, so I'm gonna start here and then work my way uptown. I didn't want to talk while I was at the church grounds because, I don't know, it kind of felt disrespectful to just keep blabbering inside a graveyard. But honestly, getting to finally see this and having known about Hamilton for about 7 years now, wow, time goes by fast. This was well worth it. So now for another bit of urban exploration that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go up into Central Park, where there was this one location specifically that my roommates and I were talking about. It's Great Shot Arch in Central Park, which is where the second to last scene of the movie Cloverfield was filmed. I told them that I was gonna visit it, so might as well visit it. No one to be here if I can't be with you. So I ended up going one stop too far, and now I gotta walk down to 52nd. Over here 5 years ago is where I saw Miss Saigon on Broadway. Well, yeah, this is Broadway. I remember that vlog I made then was so embarrassing, but you know, you live and you learn. Alright, so I screwed up. Central Park was that way, but you know, I'm walking down toward Times Square, and I'm just gonna go get something to eat while I'm here. I can't think until I've eaten. Well, I do know New York City decently enough. There's still like many parts of it that I have no idea about. So I actually ended up here in the West Village, which I wasn't sure what the boundaries for this neighborhood were before I came here, but now that I was looking on Google Maps, I'm like on the very eastern end of the West Village. So if I were to go down this way, it would lead me back towards the Hudson River. Up this way, I go right towards Central Park. And then this way leads over to the East River. So now I'm just gonna head north because there's a couple of places around this area that I wanted to visit. There's a place called Myers of Keswick, which is like a kind of British grocery store. There's also something else around here. I can't think of the name right now, but I wanted to visit there too. So upon making my journey uptown, I came across this garden that's called the Jefferson Market Garden. And it's such a nice, cute little garden, like just in the middle of this neighborhood. Just been kind of sitting here for a while, just taking it all in. I got enough time to spare before the concert, so I'm fine. Also, while I was sitting in the garden, I was looking at about more stuff to do here in the West Village, and I came across this place. I don't know if you can see the text. It's a Starbucks Reserve. So it's like a normal Starbucks, but it's got coffee, food, and cocktails. I already had my morning coffee, but I'm interested to see what this is, so let's go. I'm not gonna lie, being here, pretty fancy. So I ended up getting this Hawaiian flavored thingy. I don't know what it is. I just told the barista to surprise me, so let's see what it tastes like. That's pretty good. Also, this cup is like a hard shell plastic. In addition to the Dunkin' coffee that I had this morning, this is going right through me. Now I'm off to the Myers of Keswick store. I have found it. Oh, it's time to go inside, ain't it? Well, I gotta say, that was well worth it. I spent $17 in there. It's more than I normally would, but you know, this is a special kind of store, so I'm fine with spending a little bit more than what I'm used to. All right, now I'm just sitting on the corner of Horatio and Hudson, and I'm gonna show what I got. So, first I got this drink called Robinson's Summer Fruits. Then I got a bag of potato chips, but in the UK they're called crisps. This is Lay's British brand Walker's Supreme Prawn Cocktail. Mars bar. I forget what the US version of this is supposed to be, but I got that too. And then a police bear. I think it's pretty cute. So yeah. Now I'm gonna head uptown again. Hopefully I'll make less stops on the way, but you know, I might, because that's what I do best. Spontaneous adventures. Trying to get the cap off and drink it. Oh, that's strong. All right, so after that mess up, I finally made it into Central Park, and I've come up on one of the locations that I really wanted to see. So towards the end of the movie, there was a scene where, I forget the main character's name. Him and his, I'm guessing, ex-girlfriend, Beth, they had to hide from the monster. And New York City was about to be pummeled to the ground towards the end of the movie, they took shelter over here. It's just so funny seeing, what was I going to say? It's so funny seeing filming locations in real life, because it's just like, it honestly looks like how you expected it to be, but at the same time, it's still pretty surreal to look at. The good thing about this, it's nice and dry under here. The rest of the city's kind of wet right now. So for the past hour, I've just been walking down Manhattan because I do not want to pay another $2.75 for something that I can just walk. But hopefully I don't get a little short on my dough. I might need somewhere to stay and find a way to have a good time. Well, anyway, now I'm going up to the vessel, which I actually haven't visited before, but I've seen so many other... Oh, look, another Starbucks roast. It's another Starbucks Reserve. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, anyways, I'm going up to the vessel now, which I haven't visited myself. I know plenty of other people who have gone to it, well, before it, like, shut down to the public where you can go on the steps. But I still want to take a look at it anyway, because I haven't seen it before. Oh, look, a Google building. You know, New York City reminds me a lot of Toronto. I wish there was a way that I could experience. I've also found the Empire State Building and Madison Square Garden on my walk. So something else that I haven't previously done before here in New York City was visit the High Line. From what I've heard, it's an abandoned railroad line that is turned into like this sort of public park type of deal. I'm gonna go up, see how it is. That's all there is to it. I got this drink over an hour ago and I still haven't finished it. It's funny because today it's like one fluid after another. Like I just can't stop. First, Dunkin' coffee. The second one, the Starbucks coffee. And now this thing. I may have a problem. Well, the good news is I found the vessel. So you remember how Toronto had Little Canada? Well, New York has Mercado Little Spain. So, this behind me is the vessel here in the Hudson Yards complex. So, this actually opened up pretty recently in 2019. And before, people were allowed to walk on the structure, like even go up to the top and whatnot and take pictures and all that jazz too. But after several suicides that took place on this since it opened, it's now closed indefinitely for anybody to go up, just to avoid any crazy things like that from happening again, which is totally understandable. I thought I saw someone going up. Yeah. Okay, looking at it now, I can kind of see what they did here. Only the ground level is accessible. Something else that's also pretty cool, there's all these food trucks here. Hey look, that's me. This is the vessel in the Hudson Yards in New York City, USA. That was a trippy experience. So, while I'm here at the Hudson Yards, I came across this giant Jumbotron that's playing today's football game. What's even funnier is today's game is actually taking place about 6 miles up that way.
There from Jesse Bates, the safety, who couldn't decide whether to go for the football or the man. And he ended up getting Garrett Wilson, the rookie, out.
So it took me a couple of minutes to realize that my stop was actually here at Union Square. Looks like a pretty nice square. I can't really tell the dimensions from over here. Anyways, my legs gave out on me right before I started going over to the subway station, so I'm gonna take another rest. I've probably taken like 3 today from the amount of walking I've done. I feel like the number is only gonna go up from here. All right, I've held it off long enough. I'm gonna go into Brooklyn now. All right, I made a quick dinner break, and now I'm actually onto the venue now. One thing I can say is I've never seen a police bus before. This is a long-ass corridor. So I've been to the Washington, D.C. area, and what's even funnier is their metro has like this deep tunnel going underground, and this reminds me of just that. It feels like I'm going back into Washington, D.C. again, but now I'm just going into Times Square. It looks like they definitely did take design inspiration from the D.C. metro. All right, I'm here in Times Square now. Honestly, every single time that I come here, like, so many people are like, oh my God, please don't go there. Bro, don't go there. It's a tourist trap. Yeah, so what? I get a certain level of enjoyment watching all the crazy stuff that happens around here. He's there, the Phantom of the Opera. I just downed an entire bag of chips in one go. It was pretty good. So I've been in and around Times Square looking at the Broadway flea market. I haven't gotten anything. Maybe I will. I'm not sure, but you know, it's nice looking around here. He's also here, the Phantom of the Opera. I actually found out recently that the show is going to be closing early next year, which is quite a shame because of how long it's been on Broadway for like the past 35 years. Well, 35 next year. It's a shame, but you know, I'm going to try and see it one more time before it does close. So this was a complete impulse buy. So now for Halloween, I'm probably going to be the Phantom. So I just came across this crowd who was crowding around Kristen Chenoweth. I was like, why the hell are there so many people over here? But now it kind of makes sense. So looks like I'm all set here. Yeah, I know, it's quite a shocking image. So I ended up getting the Phantom of the Opera mask, which I showed a second ago. And also a program from the French production of Les Miserables.
Before we know, we're going to see that 2023. It's going to be like 2 months from now.
Honestly, from almost spending the entire day in New York City, I'm surprised that I haven't run into any characters or any scammers yet. This is a new record for me. All right, so change of plans. I thought I wasn't going to do this, but I ain't doing this. I'm going a couple blocks down to go eat at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. Because why not? Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Searching for my lost shaker of soul. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know, it's my own damn fault. New York City is the least Margaritaville-like place I've ever seen, but you know, when you need Margaritaville, you need Margaritaville. I have peaked in life. You know, I never thought I'd literally be living out the lyrics of Margaritaville, but here I am. Just like that, I'm done wasting away here in Margaritaville. I gotta say, the food was actually pretty good, and that margarita that I had too was delicious. Oh man, there's so much happening in my body right now. That coffee that I had earlier, that margarita, it's all just kind of mixing in my body, and I don't know if I'm going to implode or explode, but something's gonna happen, and I don't know when. Sigrid's concert is in Hell's Kitchen, which is uptown, and I didn't realize that I was actually going downtown. It's so hard to vlog while walking because there's so many people around. I can't keep track of like where my hand's going. Also, if I was to do this like probably several years ago, I'd be so self-conscious about filming around other people, but I honestly don't really care anymore. I'm approaching the Broadway and 53rd Street intersection. I've got to say it's honestly much quieter by New York City standards than it was over by Times Square. This is a nice change of pace. I believe back in April, like the last time I went to go see Sigrid, I took a picture of this guy balancing on this beam. I just thought it was funny that I came across it again, just out of nowhere. I'll be honest, on this walk, I've almost completely lost track of time. I'm gonna make it there, but just, I've been walking endlessly down these city blocks, and it's just like, it's endless. Oh my God. All right, good news. The Terminal 5 venue is just up ahead.
So to avoid copyright infringement, once again, I will be narrating over the music. And also, I'm sick while doing this narration, so that's why I sound like this. Now, I'll be showing most of what I captured from both shows over the course of those evenings. First, we got the Brooklyn Steel show back in April. The show began around 8 o'clock with the opening act, Ryan. That's with 2 N's. And for some context, Ryan is a New York City native, and she started releasing music back in 2019. And she also worked as a songwriter for other smaller artists, while she was also gearing to release her own music independently. This is my first time hearing her music, and it's sort of similar to Sigrid's, where she has that sound where it's nostalgic, but with lyrics that feel like very intimate slices of life. And then with all those elements, she has her own musical style that goes along with it, and you were able to see it through this entire act. My favorites of hers during this set were her songs 1 Minute and Last Call, and then she also did a cover of Post Malone's Circles. Now to the Terminal 5 show in Manhattan. Opening here was Bear, like Bear without the A. She's from Minneapolis, Minnesota, but she's been back and forth between the US and the UK over the past few years. Just like with Ryan, she also is a smaller independent artist, but her sound is a lot heavier with more electric instrumentation. But this works very well with the lyrics that are in her songs. I was also very fortunate to be able to get a chance to talk with her and get a picture with her too before Sigrid came on stage. My favorite of hers are Boys Who Kiss You in Their Car and I'm Not in Love. And if you're interested in independent and alternative pop music, I absolutely recommend these two. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but you know, it's nice to support people. So now for the reason you probably clicked on this video. Sigrid. So for those unfamiliar with her, she's a Norwegian artist from a town in western Norway called Alesund, which is about 7 hours away from Oslo, the capital of Norway. She started releasing music around 2017, but it wasn't until 2019 that she released her debut album, Sucker Punch. I first started listening to her because I was getting recommended her fan pages on Instagram. But then after a while, I started to listen to her music because I was like, yeah, why not? I'll check it out. And the first song of hers I heard was Don't Feel Like Crying, which was off that same album. This was around late 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic. The song felt so refreshing because of how life was feeling like during that period of time. After that, I began to listen to more of her music, and then I eventually got Sucker Punch on CD. By late 2021, she started releasing new stuff for her next album. I honestly can't tell you how hyped I was when I heard about it. Before that album came out, she did 2 shows in the US, in New York and in Los Angeles, California. These shows featured songs that weren't yet released, that were on that album. Then, just a little while after these shows were done, she announced another set of shows across the United States. Then she started touring Norway, the UK, and other European countries for the next couple of months following. And this show, like I said before, was performed at Terminal 5, which was in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of New York. It was the first show on her longer North American tour, and this will take her from here in New York to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, Toronto, Canada, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, Denver, Oakland, Los Angeles, and San Diego.
Thank you. On a Sunday night. Thank you so much. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you again. Really, really happy to be back here in New York with my great band. I'm really excited. I don't know what to say, honestly. Let's just keep going.
Then she'll be back to the UK and Ireland in November. I honestly feel very fortunate that I was able to see her twice like I did within the same year, because that normally doesn't happen with most artists, and she's become one of my favorite artists in my lifetime. Which I'll say is quite an impressive achievement. My favorite songs from her entire discography so far are Sucker Punch, Don't Kill My Vibe, Strangers, Dynamite, Burning Bridges, It Gets Dark, Thank Me Later, Mirror, A Driver Saved My Night, Mistake Like You, and Bad Life. And she also did a cover of Leonard Cohen's Everybody Knows that was featured in the 2017 Justice League movie soundtrack. Other similar artists to her are Aurora, who's also from Norway, and the trio rock group Heim, who I've also listened to, and I also went to go see their show. So, yeah.
Alright, the show ended. It's raining outside. That was amazing. So worth it. If I have the opportunity to come back, I would. But first, I need to find a subway station and a way to get back.
I'm trying not to have my poster get
Because that's the way it's done.
Alright, here I am back in good old Jersey. Now I just need to take Hoboken back to the Westmont station, and then I'm all set. This was a fun evening. Although, like, every part of my being is so exhausted. I don't care. It was so worth it.